Hello, friends. Ruben Obed here, transmitting live from Dorado, Puerto Rico. And this video is for to answer a question to one of my followers that follows my solar series, and he wanted to know why his battery bank dropped down to 12.4 even after a full days of charge. Now, after analyzing all of the details that he gave me, I came to a conclusion, and I'm pretty sure that the answer that I'm going to give you is the reason why your battery bank is dropping down to 12.4 immediately after putting a load on. Now, a lot of people might jump to the fact and say, oh, well, your batteries are bad, your batteries are sulfated, and that's why it's dropping down and whatnot. But based on my experience, my personal experience, and based on the fact of on the details given to me by this solar user, I came to the conclusion that you and I both have a similar system in many ways. And judging by the knowledge that you imparted, it means that your batteries are well taken care of. So I'm going to disregard the possibility of you having a sulfated battery. Now, a lot of people don't understand the whole process of charging. It isn't just charging. There's a process called the absorption charge. See, imagine your battery kind of like a sponge, right? If you take a bucket of water, a small bucket of water, and you put a big sponge in it, and you fill it up to the top, you'll see that the water is at the surface of the bucket. You see it there. But if you come to the same bucket an hour later, you'll notice that that water went down because the actual sponge inside the bucket absorbed the water. Therefore, your water level drops down. Okay? And it could be that if you fill that bucket up with water and you were covering the entirety of that sponge, as the sponge absorbs the water, the water level goes down, and you might see some of that sponge exposed. All right. So that analogy of the bucket and the sponge is similar to batteries. When you fill up the water, when you fill up your batteries with electricity, sometimes it'll appear that it's topped off. You'll get 14.4. You'll think, okay, my batteries are full, but they really have not absorbed the water yet or the electricity yet. So after a little while, or if at the end of the day, or you see that it's fully charged and immediately you start applying loads, well, what happens is that those batteries are fully charged, but they haven't really absorbed the charge. So then at the end of the day, when the sun goes down and you go to use your batteries, they say you're all happy. Okay, my batteries are full. They say 12.9, 12.7, all of a sudden you turn on a little load, boom, your batteries go down to 12.4, and they don't last as long. And the reason is that they're being charged up, but you're not allowing enough time for them to absorb the charge, you see? And if you're dealing with a regular 12-volt charger, you really, don't think about these things if you're charging it, let's say, off the grid. But when you're charging off of solar, your time is limited. You're limited to the time that the sun is out. So what happens is that you see full charge. You see your voltage at 14.4. You think you're full, and you're really not. You have what they call the surface charge, just like that bucket fill up with water and you have a sponge in it. Yeah, there's water on the surface, but as the sponge absorbs the water, that surface charge drops, and then it gives you the real amount. All right, that real amount of charge. It's similar to like when you have a 2-liter bottle of Coca-Cola or Pepsi, or pop. Some people call it pop. And you fill up your cup all of a sudden all those bubbles go all the way to the top. It looks like your cup is about to overflow. But then when the bubbles drop down, you notice that you have about that much worth of soda actually. And the same thing happens with batteries, you know. So my advice to you is this: if you have a solar system and if you're encountering the problem that your charge and your voltage is dropping down very quickly after charging, it could be simply that your batteries have not really absorbed the charge. So what I recommend, right, if you can, while your batteries are charging, if at all possible, turn your inverter off, or at least if you can't turn it off completely, try to limit your usage of your battery to a minimal to allow time for your battery bank to fully absorb the charge of the day. Now, what I do personally, I have my big solar bank, and I have a smaller little system consisting of one deep cycle battery. And what I do is that when my big system is charging, what I do is I just switch over to that one battery just to, use the energy that I need to use, right? And allow for my big system to really fully absorb the charge. And when you do that, you'll notice that your system is going to work better. You wake up and, let's say at 5, 6 o'clock when the sun goes down, you're at 12.9. You'll reach 12, you'll reach 10 o'clock and you the 10, 11 o'clock at night, and it might just go down from 12.9 to 12.8. Your voltage will stay high because the battery has really absorbed well the charge. So that's my recommendation, guys. Give your battery bank a little bit of time to charge. Don't just go by the numbers and say, oh, it's 14.4, it's charged. No, give it a little bit of break. Limit the loads a little bit. If you can switch over to a separate little system just to allow some time for that absorption process, your system's gonna be running really, really well, and you're gonna be very happy, and you're not gonna see that huge voltage drop to 12.4 shortly after a charge. And so that's my advice, guys. I hope it is beneficial to you, because a lot of times these questions get asked and people start getting all technical and they start assuming the worst, assuming that your batteries are sulfated, assuming this and that. And it might just be that you have not allowed, sufficient time for your batteries to actually suck up and absorb the charge that, the sun has given it. I hope this helped, guys. God bless you all. And Ruben Obed here. That's what I'm here for, to answer all your solar needs. Peace.